Doctor Who Series 1 is the one and only series starring Christopher Eccleston as the 9th Doctor, and I'm very excited to give you guys my review for this series. If you've seen it, be sure to leave a comment what you thought about it. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into this review. So Series 1 of Doctor Who kicked off Modern Who back in 2005, and I quite enjoy this season. When I first saw it, wasn't a huge fan because I started with the first season of Matt Smith when I first got into Doctor Who. Then I decided to go back, check this one out, watch the first episodes, and I was like, wasn't really for me. But I've gone over it a couple times now, and I do actually quite like this series. I think it's one of the best of Modern Who. I think it's probably one of the best of all Doctor Who, in my opinion. I've watched all classic and modern, and I think it holds up very well. And as I mentioned, this is the only series starring Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, and I thought he had a good run for this one series. He's not quite my favorite Doctor. I know a lot of people would say he's their favorite, which is fine for me. He's not quite there, but I do quite enjoy him as the Doctor, and I really enjoy Rose as a companion in this. And for me, one nice thing about this series is there's no episode that I dislike. For me, in this series, every episode's either good to amazing, which is more than I can say for some other seasons or series. This one, I think for me, possibly my least favorite episode of this series was maybe the first one. It was just it was starting things, you know. Sometimes the first episode's never the strongest, and it was like, it's okay. It was a decent story, nothing too exciting in the first episode. The first episode is called Rose, but it was a nice introduction to the Doctor and Rose, his companion. But the whole living plastic thing was just fine. But there are definitely some standout episodes in this series. Episodes like The Empty Child, The Doctor Dances, Father's Day, Dalek, or The Parting of the Ways are all fantastic. I also really enjoyed The Unquiet Dead. Those episodes are all great. I think some of them are some of the best in the whole entire run of New Who, even Classic Who. I think they're among the best. They definitely, some of them like The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances has a nice blend of the fun and creepiness that Doctor Who sometimes have. I sometimes wish they go more into that creepiness in some of the episodes that they've done. But in this one, I thought they had a really nice balance of that in some of those episodes. And like I said, even the episodes that for me aren't great or amazing are still good. I still have fun with them. Like I mentioned, the first episode, Rose, probably my least favorite of this season or series, but I still enjoy it. The episodes with the Slovene, particularly the two-parter Aliens in London and World War III, I thought were pretty good, and they were fun, but they weren't great like some of the other episodes. For me, they have the aliens, they're in these like human costumes, and it's causing all this gas exchange, and they're passing gas, and yeah, okay, that sort of stuff sometimes just like feels like baby humor to me, and so it just sort of got on my nerves a little bit, but other than that, those episodes were fairly fun. In the second half of the series, they also bring in the character Captain Jack, played by John Barrowman. Really enjoy that character. He'll pop up throughout the series, mostly in the Tennant era after this. But I really enjoy his character. He's a lot of fun. I like that dynamic that the three TARDIS crew had with the Doctor, Rose, and Captain Jack. In the later half of the series, when the three of them are together, I quite enjoyed that. For me, if I had to list some issues I had with the series as a whole, I think one for me would be the character Mickey. I didn't dislike the character, I just didn't like the way his character was sort of treated throughout this series. At the start, he's Rose's boyfriend. She runs off with the Doctor, go traveling through time and space, and he's just sort of tossed aside throughout the whole series from Rose. That's sort of how it felt. And in the last episode, he had a cool moment where even though when she said, "Oh, there's nothing left for me on Earth," that's like not nice for him, but he decided he's gonna help her out. That was nice, but I just thought this series just didn't treat that character very nicely. I wish they handled that a bit better because I felt bad for that character. And then my final issue, and it's not a huge issue, just things that have been done better since this series, is the actual regeneration of the Doctor. For me, it just wasn't very emotional. I think part of it was just that we only had the one series with Christopher Eccleston, so we didn't have as much time to have, or for me anyway, to be as emotionally connected or as invested as other Doctors who last like 3 seasons or more. So yeah, it was fine, but I just didn't get that sadness of saying goodbye to this Doctor. And I thought Christopher Eccleston did a really good job in his run, but it just didn't hit me like it hits me when some of the other Doctors regenerate. And I think part of that was just they managed to make, like, just improve upon it, sort of make those episodes actual events. So yeah, that's a smaller issue. Like I said, I think the treatment of the character Mickey would be my one issue that sort of stretches the whole series. But other than that, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun aliens, like new aliens that they bring in. They bring in some classic ones with the Daleks. I thought it had a really good introduction with the Daleks, and this with that one Dalek. And then the final episode I thought was done really well. And like I said, this has some fantastic episodes, and for me there's no bad episode in this. Just the weakest ones are they're good. They're good, but nothing particularly special. But this one is full of great to amazing episodes in my opinion. I have a good series 1 of Doctor Who, an 85%. So guys, let me know what you thought of this series. I know a lot of people say that this is their favorite Doctor and favorite series of modern Who, or maybe all of Doctor Who. Not quite there for me, but I do really like this Doctor and this series. So let me know what you thought of it, and be sure to stay tuned for some more reviews coming out really soon. My next review is going to be Never Say Never Again, the one unofficial Sean Connery James Bond movie. So have that out hopefully on Monday. And be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And until my next review, take care everybody.